Happy Thursday, everybody. I'm about to go get a haircut so I can deal with this. It's very flat and I want it to be floofier. It does not have the definition I want in it anymore. But you know, maintenance, right? So I'm not gonna feel bad. I think like the thing I feel insecure about at the moment is I feel like I have a 5 head, which is a 4 head plus 1. I don't know, like maybe this is one of those moments where like I see myself differently than other people see me, or everybody's going, girl, you have a 5 head, like sort yourself. I don't know, let's get bangs or something. All right, so it is a beautiful day in Pittsburgh. We're in the car now, about to go get some coffee at Dunkin' and then go grab a quick haircut. So we'll see how that goes. And then I gotta go to therapy to do EMDR, talk stuff. I don't necessarily have to have, EMDR today, but, we did that last time I went to therapy. So I'll let you know how that went in a little bit. I'll give a general life update after I go get my haircut. All right, I'm out from getting my haircut. Look at that. Oh, I feel so much better. It feels so good. It's so nice getting all that, like what felt like all hair is dead, right? Like I don't want to be like, oh, that dead hair is gone, but like the crunchy, more frayed bits are gone. I'm loving the layers that she put in. We love to see it. I know this isn't exactly how it's gonna hit a few days from now since it just got cut, and like washing it will give me a different experience. It's like kind of moving in an odd way, like it's curling out at the bottom, but I'm living for it. I just feel good today, and I'm not gonna worry so much about how it looks, but I feel so good after that haircut. Okay, so we're gonna drive. We're gonna go settle for a little while and get ready for therapy. It's like 2 o'clock now, so I have therapy at 4. So I'm gonna head over there early so I can just vibe until it's therapy time. Hi everybody. So I am parked and waiting for my therapy appointment. That starts at 4. It's like 2:45 now, so I'm just hanging out, just vibing, getting ready, to have a good discussion about the last week. I go to therapy every week. So I'm sitting here with my Dunkin'. This last week has been a struggle for a couple reasons. I think I've been really trying to, again, budget, thinking about my finances in a responsible way, in a way that I haven't in the past. I am a big culprit, and I say this as I hold my like takeout iced coffee, right? That I've been more conscious about eating at home. I got this for $2, and by $2 I got this for free because so my mom's an elementary school speech pathologist, and she doesn't drink Dunkin', but the parents of her students give her gift cards, and my mom's like, spread the wealth, pay it forward. Jamie, you use this. And I'm like, all right, thanks, Mom. Preach. So I used her gift card. So I've been very sparing about what coffee I drink out because it's just like dumb expensive for like no reason. And I've really also been enjoying an electric kettle that my mom got me for my birthday. But yeah, I had a great birthday. 31 is pretty festive. I never had like a crisis when I turned 30. I may have a crisis when I turn 40. We shall see. 31 just feels pretty good. Like, someone told me once that your 30s feel like your 20s, but with money. I don't know about having more money, but I'm definitely more responsible with money. And my 20s were spent in grad school. Like, I finished my doctorate before I turned 30, and so my 30s are like, would you like to experience the joy of not being in grad school and getting to work not quite a 9 to 5, because academia is never going to give me like a 5 days a week 9 to 5, but that is both a blessing and a curse, I think, because I teach Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, depending on the semester. It just looks different all the time, and then you take work home because you have to grade and stuff like that. But I have wonderful students this semester. I've been so grateful for my teaching. Yeah, I don't know, like, I'll never make it on the Forbes 30 under 30 fam. I evaded teen pregnancy and I didn't make it on the Forbes 30 under 30, so that's fine. I'm just playing with my hair now because I got my hair cut, but I'm living for it. I feel so cute and refreshed, but I've also been like really leaning in on my fitness. I go to the gym 3 times a week now. Like, I teach Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so when I'm done with my work day, I go to the gym for like 15 minutes. I maybe do some walking or do some stuff on the machines. You know, if you've been in my circle, either like streaming or I've been friends with you for a long time or even a short time, I think like my autoimmune disease comes up in the conversation very quickly. So if you've been on my channel for a minute, you may know this already. But for the folks who don't know, I have this rare autoimmune disease called juvenile dermatomyositis. It was juvenile onset dermatomyositis. I was diagnosed at 16. I probably started showing symptoms around 14, 15. My autoimmune disease has left me weak in my arms and in my legs because it causes muscle atrophy and inflammation of the skin. Unfortunately, I'm not on any medication for my autoimmune disease at the moment. But fortunately, I'm also not experiencing any symptoms. So I was put on Xeljanz, and I'd been on Xeljanz for the past 2 years. And because my autoimmune disease is rare, there are very few FDA-approved treatments for it. Like, I think we have IVIG, intravenous immunoglobulin, and I used to do that. And then I got aseptic meningitis from it. And then I also wasn't seeing a ton of benefit from it, even after I continued doing IVIG. So we tried other treatments, like we did prednisone, and prednisone is great, but it has tons of side effects and it, you know, causes a whole lot of problems. So you can't be on that long term. I've done methotrexate. I don't want to get into the whole gamut here, but Xeljanz was probably the most effective treatment in terms of like very few side effects. I didn't notice any changes in my muscle weakness, but that's because I wasn't experiencing that much by the time I was put on Xeljanz. But Xeljanz was the only thing that positively influenced my skin. I used to have really prominent rashes on my fingers, on the joints of my fingers, and Xeljanz cleared that up, and I was really happy about that. I was receiving Xeljanz through the patient assistance program at Pfizer because insurance would not cover Xeljanz because it was not like an FDA approved treatment for dermatomyositis. And I was like, well, great, I'm screwed on that front. And then the patient assistance program this year decided to change their terms to say, if you do not have an FDA approved treatment, we will not cover you. And I'm like, fam, why do you think I'm on this program? I can't get my medication without paying like $2,000 a month. And fam, I adjunct for a living, like, so. But I've been going to the gym 3 times a week to try to get those gains, take care of my body. I'm feeling so good, but at the same time, like, I can't impulse buy, I can't do retail therapy. And then I'm also having to really push myself in good ways to like go to the gym. And these are all healthy changes for me. When you make changes, you have these big emotional swings and you're like, let me deal with my feelings in an unhealthy way. So let me go out to eat or like buy coffee that I don't need and probably won't drink most of or whatever. Like, retail therapy is so satisfying very quickly, but that adds up. And my biggest curse was like the $10 purchases, like, oh, it's just $10. Oh, it's just this. It's just this. Ugh. But I've been using YNAB. You Need a Budget, if you haven't heard of it before. I've been having a lot of fun with it. Like, it gamifies budgeting for me, not sponsored. And then I also have been tracking my moods with this app called Mood Chonk. And it's so cute. It's like mood tracking and like gratitude journaling with these little guys, just these little guys. And you are encouraged to experience like the gamut of emotions. You're not just, rewarded for having happy feelings. Like, every feeling is valid in this app, and I love that. And you're collecting little guys when you feel different feelings, and it's precious. I recommended it to my students, and one of my students emailed me yesterday and was like, thank you so much for recommending Mood Chonk because I'm spreading it to my friends and we're obsessed. I did EMDR again last week, and that was productive. It helped me think about a memory I had from grad school that really haunted me, and I had a hard time working past it, and it still bothered me, and I still had gripes about it. And having a session, I had 2 sessions devoted to this memory, and I was able to look at the memory in a positive way, or at least positive toward myself. I feel like I can move forward, and I don't think about it that much anymore because I had such a productive session on it. EMDR is controversial. I watched this really interesting video on the history of EMDR. I will add a card up in the corner if you want to check that out. But EMDR has really interesting backstory, and the founder's kind of sus. So I want to talk about EMDR in a way that is fair and balanced. I think EMDR is successful because it combines different elements of therapy that have been proven to be successful, like cognitive behavioral therapy and reprocessing of memories. It takes all this successful stuff and then jumbles it together and then adds like tapping on your legs, or like the visual, like following visual cues. Some research cited in the video that's in the cards suggested that the tapping didn't make much of a difference. It was the other elements of therapy that EMDR is taking advantage of that's successful, and like I can live with that. I'm good with that. So if you're interested in EMDR, I think it's really interesting. Try what works for you. Experiment to see what does work for you if you don't know what works for you. But I'm really enjoying it. I think it's been really productive for me. I do have a sort of like emotional upheaval after I do EMDR sessions when I go to therapy. I don't know if I'll end up doing an EMDR session today. We'll see where we're at, what works for me and my therapist. I really like my new therapist because she really takes it day by day of what I need and like what's been happening in my life. If it's a pretty chill week, we do EMDR. If it's like I need to talk about something that I'm upset about, then we chat. So art stuff has been pretty good. I've been posting a lot of shorts if you've seen those. I think I've been struggling for the past week with some like maybe obsession with the numbers, or like fixation on the numbers, like trying to get those views, trying to get those likes on the social medias. And it's so unpredictable who will see your artwork, especially on Instagram. And sometimes I'm like, if I don't get the numbers, then I guess my art sucks, because like the algorithm is showing people things that they like, and people don't like my art, so I suck. I also notice that the content I'm being fed on YouTube and Instagram and Tumblr and stuff like that, they all have a ton of like likes and comments and views and notes if it's on Tumblr. That's hard to grapple with when you're like feeling dissatisfied with your own numbers, because you're like, why is everybody doing better than me? And it's like, no, not everybody's doing better than you. There's plenty of people that are doing just as well as you are and are just as dissatisfied, and you're just being fed things that are successful. Not everyone is successful. It's just hard. It's like emotionally trying, where you're like, I want people to notice what I'm putting out into the ether, and I'm like shouting out into the void, like, look at my art, I really enjoy making it, and I hope that you enjoy making it too, and I hope that I inspire people to make their own stuff because I love making it too. Comparison is the thief of joy, but then how do I stop comparing myself to other people? Because comparison is information. Just many things going on this week, many feelings. And so I'm feeling all these things about my art, and then I'm like, oh, I'm working out and my body is sore, and then also I'm budgeting, and you gotta cheat a little bit to succeed. And so sometimes I gotta go get the fancy coffee out and enjoy it and really like sit with it and be mindful. Sometimes I gotta skip the gym and go 2 days instead of 3, because you need to cheat a little bit to have some sanity in this lifetime. but I have to decide like what little cheats don't lead to like an avalanche of, well, I just buy whatever I want, or I don't budget at all anymore. Like, I'm that person that's like kind of all or nothing at times. Black and white thinking is so tempting that either I completely like perfectly budget or I don't at all. And another thing about YouTube at the moment that's been kind of trying to me and my anxiety and imposter syndrome and comparison is that I spend so much time watching like finance channels or like no-buy channels. Like, I've been watching a lot of no-buy content, like people who are trying not to buy anything that's like non-essential, to help with their budgeting and to help them assess like what's essential to them. Like, I think that's so helpful. Like, I've been doing so much improvement of myself, and I think sometimes I just need to take a step back and say, you're driving to therapy. You don't have to listen to like a self-improvement podcast right now. You don't have to listen to a finance podcast or NPR's Life Kit or whatever it is. You can just vibe for a little bit and chill. I haven't been taking enough time to relax and not try to like finesse my lifestyle. And I think lifestyle Instagramming and blogging and vlogging can lead us down this rabbit hole of not taking a break or like really seeing the reality of people's lives or escaping the algorithm or what have you. I, on my way here, just listened to the Mountain Goats album, Jenny from Thebes, and it was really relaxing, and I could feel my stomach unclench for the first time in a hot minute. I was just like, this is just so nice to just listen to music without agenda, without thinking, how can I make content from this? And sometimes I thought, how can I make content from this? I mean, I'm talking about this Mountain Goats album right now. Taking a break from the constant noise is really important to me at this point. It is so tempting to just keep feeding yourself information. It's so hard to make choices on how to live. And sometimes you just have to say, I am just gonna hang out and listen to some good music and make some art, and it's gonna be great, and I don't care what anybody thinks about it. It's just trying to figure out how to schedule that in the day and set blockers up to not check your social media constantly, because it is so easily accessible. So anyway, I am gonna try to relax and sit with myself, maybe read something before I go into therapy. But thank you for hanging out with me today while I got my haircut and got my coffee, and thanks for tuning in. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye, everybody.